Hello everyone, JRDL96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's another Markiplier video and it's another one of those update videos. Now, we got, the last week, the previous, video we saw from him was an update on what the hell happened to him when he ended up in the urgent care hospital once again because, he always tends to go there because he had, I guess, put blood in his eyes, fake blood in his eyes when I guess they were doing pickup reshoots. I have no idea what's going on with iron lung and stuff like that. So, and then, he was updating everybody like, oh, I'm fine. I'm just taking my eye drops. Yeah. And then he, said that expect a new trail for iron lung at some point in the future. And now he was dealing with the death of his grandmother from Korea. And he went to Korea for the funeral and stuff. And he wore some nice, Korean, attire for that. So here it is, the important update. And I don't know what this entails. I don't know if he's saying like videos might be a little slow and stuff like that. I don't know. Or Iron Lung got delayed. I have no idea what the the update is. But hopefully it's not anything crazy drastic and very unfortunate. But let's see what he has to tell us. What does Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch have to tell us today? So let's get right into it. So without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we?
Hello. There's been a lot of things happening in a very short amount of time, just in the past 2 weeks. So if you've heard crazy rumors about me, most of them might be true, some might not. I'm just going to make a blanket statement that some of them might not be true, but a lot of them have been true. In the past 2 weeks, while I was in Austin filming more for my movie and somehow, I think, breaking the record for most blood in a horror movie, yay, and I'm trying to calculate the numbers to prove that. That's a whole another story not relating to anything to do with this. Again, we'll get into that at a very much later date. And then I was in the hospital because blood was in my eyes. So if you saw a picture online of me with the most horrifying... Oh, I talked about this. God, this is so weird. I don't even remember.
He's got his
Doing
His Honest video
talking
t-shirt
about
on.
that, because immediately after that, I get a text from my mom saying that my grandma's not doing well. And so I have to book a flight to go out to Korea, and literally the next day after that, my grandma passed away. And I know this probably
That's
seems
sad.
like I'm being very blasé about this update, but in reality, the trip that I went on and the ability to go out there, it was very hard to do, but at the same time, the experience was incredibly cathartic. And the way that my Korean family was honoring my grandma was extremely helpful in the healing process, and I was able to move through it. And also, just like, it was just a crazy arduous time, with the lack of sleep, the blood in my eyes, and then after I got there, I got an ear infection.
Oh,
and
no.
I experienced firsthand the wonder that was the Korean healthcare system. There's so much that went on in this past week and a half, and I would love to go over all the details, but I actually have talked about this now twice, both to the members and also on the podcast. And I know I make the disclaimer being like, hey, listen to the podcast. But honestly, we weren't even able to keep up with those episodes because this just all happened so suddenly. So I do apologize for not having videos.
Yeah, they didn't
but at
do
the same
anything,
time, I kinda
no
don't
distractable
apologize for not
episodes.
having videos, because I think all of you can understand that
Like,
family will come first.
yes, family is
always comes
first.
and the family always should come first. If your family matters to you, that is, but mine very much does. And I very much matter to my family. So I was very happy to be able to just kind of go and be there for them. I wasn't able to be there when my grandma passed, but I was able to be there during the ceremony and during all of the different things
At least
that I
you
had
were
to
there
do,
in the end.
the cremation, burying her.
The funeral
Really,
ceremony.
really good. And so I'm back.
Somewhat.
And I do want to get back into videos because I really do feel good.
Good.
I feel very, very at peace with it. I feel like
You're
so
content?
much has happened
Yeah.
in the past 2 weeks that comparatively, it's just like one of those moments where I really like to appreciate, what I'm able to do. And I'm so glad that I still, to this day, get joy out of what I do. And I still really love waking up and being able to do this. And I want to capitalize on that joy. But that doesn't mean that I'm like going to destroy myself trying to get back into videos. It's going to be an easing process. I've
Well,
watched
slow
so far,
process.
it's so good.
Take it slowly.
It's terrifying, and it's just like it's captivating. And there's so many other games, obviously, that I want to play. There's even some recordings that we made that I wasn't able to get up while I was away because obviously I was away. And there's another story in there about how I lost my bag on the flight over, so I arrived with no luggage.
He apparently was in Alaska.
Clothes, I didn't have any toiletries. I didn't have anything.
Oh,
I stole
no.
a pillow from the airline. Like it's kind of nuts. So I'll link in the description. There's an episode of Distractable that I think came out today. If not, I'll update it when it does come out. But it literally was just me basically talking about this entire experience in greater detail. If you want to know the details, the short version of it is hospital. My grandma passed away. Was able to be there in Korea for the funeral. Was able to be there with my family in Korea. Was able to share the documentary that I made for my mom, which did have my grandma in it.
Yes.
Talked a lot about my grandpa, and I was able to show that to my family in a very poorly translated version of it, but I was able to do that, and so that was really special, and I'm glad I took the time to do that. But I am back, and there's a lot to do, but I'm loving doing it. So I'm gonna keep this relatively short. Remember, if you want the full version of the story, it's down there in the description. It's not a push for the podcast, and enough of you already know it exists.
Technically, it is.
That's not what this is about. It's just if you want to get
fair enough.
Yeah. Just thank you guys so much for understanding. Thank you for being here for me, and thank you for just allowing me to do this crazy thing that I do. So, thank you. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, very short, very sweet, and to the point. So pretty much he didn't really go into all details because he got 1 million views within like 5 hours of that upload. That's crazy. Most video, it doesn't take that long. Like it takes a lot longer for most of his uploads to hit 1 million views to begin with. But I guess clickbait in a way, but this was rightfully so, like him, because lately he has been kind of scattered and all over the place with uploads the last 2 weeks. First, the whole thing with him, I guess, filming more stuff. I guess they're doing pickup reshoots for Iron Lung, if I'm not mistaken, because they technically wrapped back in April. With Iron Lung, and then I guess now they're doing some pickups, some reshoots. Usually that's what most movies deal with most times. Anyways, they do reshoots, and they have to like add some additional stuff if needed or whatever. So I guess during that time he had they were trying to break the world record for most blood in a movie or some shit, and he ended up with fake blood in his eyes, and that led to his thing in the hospital. And then his Korean grandmother passed away. It wasn't doing well at first, and unfortunately passed away, and he had to go to Korea for the funeral ceremony, whatever it is over there. And I think apparently I kind of saw some of his member video. Like the only thing I was able to catch was him talking about how he lost his luggage on the way there. Apparently, when he got there, they said, well, your luggage is because I guess he had a connecting flight, one from California to Seattle or Austin to Seattle, I don't know, depending on when it was. And he was in Seattle when he got there. The guy goes, unfortunately, I think your luggage is actually in Alaska, or something like that. So then he had to end up, going to, I guess, I don't know if he got it back or what not. Hopefully there was not anything important in that luggage. Let's hope so. Let's hope that's not the case, and hopefully he ends up getting that luggage back at some point. But he ended up going, he didn't really have that much with him. He didn't have everything he needed. He only had his laptop, I think, in his backpack, which, thank goodness. Don't want to lose that. But, man, he's been going through a lot lately, hasn't he? And then, unfortunately, I didn't know this, he got an ear infection while in Korea. And he was introduced to the medical, health care system of Korea. So that's interesting. But yeah, I can relate to the ear infection stuff. I don't know how he got his, but I remember vividly how I got mine. It was actually 20 years, I think it was close to 20 years ago. It was 19 years ago or so. It was 2004. It was 2004. It was the summer of 2004, and my grandparents, on my mom's side, the same one that I named my doctor character actor, they used to live, like, for a while, from, like, I don't know when, it started around, like, 2002, 2003, if I'm not mistaken. They started living down in Sarasota, Florida. Up until, like, like, they moved in this nice looking house, in Sarasota, Florida. I was there, like, maybe 3 times over there, over the next 3 years. And then after that, like, they ended up moving to a different house somewhere in Sarasota. And I never went there. I never had a chance to go there. And they pretty much lived there until my grandfather passed away. And then my grandmother pretty much, I think, spent, I don't know if she was down there for the next year, but eventually in 2011, like, pretty much close to, like, 10 months after his death, they moved everything that was in her home up to here in Long Island, and she's pretty much been living with my aunt since. So yeah, so going back to this with my ear infection, in their previous house that they had, that I was able to be at, during that time, they had a indoor, like, not an indoor, they had a pool, an in-ground pool. And me being young and stupid, I kept going underwater and doing these backflips underwater. And water ended up going into my ears a lot, to the point where my ear got infected for it. And there was a point where I remember it was me, my mom, her friend Joanne, and her daughter Brianna ended up coming over too. And it was around the time we went to Universal. And I remember my grandmother was next to me. We were on the Popeye Rapids ride in Universal. And my grandmother was literally shielding me. I had, like, a visor on. That didn't really do much. She was like protecting me, making sure I didn't get soaking wet, especially in my ear, because that probably would have triggered something again. Because I think I remember we went to the beach one time, and I ended up getting hit with a giant wave, and I went underwater. And then I guess my mom was panicking and trying to get me get the water, wipe it out of my ears. And when I got back home, it got slightly worse. And I think at some points, I would wake up with my ear bleeding in the morning. I don't remember that. I remember my mom was putting eardrops in my ears in my left ear. It was my left ear that got infected. And I remember vividly, she put eardrops in my ear. And that was all I remember. I don't remember my ear bleeding at all because of it, or anything like that. I don't remember that vividly. But I do remember for a while, for like a couple of years, whenever I went into the pool, I would put earplugs in. Because I was afraid of getting, my ear infected again. But after a while, I kind of, like, grew out of that, and I was like, I will be cautious about it. So, yeah, I can relate to the ear infection thing. I've dealt with it. It ain't fun, But, anyways, going back to him, with Mark here, he had to deal with that, and then the funeral for his grandmother. And he hasn't been able to really do as much with Distractable. They kind of had to miss, like, a week or so with episodes. And, and stuff like that. And also, uploads has been really sporadic as well because of it. And he did say he is back, but we've heard that before. But, most likely, it's going to be as he said, like, he's not going to, dive in head first in a way. He's going to, like, I guess in a way, take it slow, because he's still processing it, and obviously family comes first. And I agree with that, especially with this. And luckily I don't know if you want to say luckily, but, I was on my hiatus last year when my grandfather on my dad's side passed away. And I was still, like, kind of in that point of, like, taking time off and on my little burnout hiatus. And I was kind of thinking about maybe coming back around, July or August. July. And then my grandfather, my dad's father passed away. And I was like, I'll hold off a little bit. Even though I wasn't really close with him, it was still pretty, sad and, dramatic and stuff. It was just, you know, it was a very sad time, and obviously I just needed to clear my head a little bit more and just, you know, take time away from not worrying about how many videos do I need to get done before, you know, such and such. You know, like, I didn't have to worry about it, you know. So I ended up, like, postponing it a little longer, but technically I was kind of filming a video or two or a couple videos during that period of time, but holding off on it until, like, I decided to finally, you know, put them all out when I felt like I was ready to go. So that was how it went at that time. So I agree with family coming first over this, you know. And if I end up in another situation where if I have a loss in the family, I'm gonna have to probably take some time off with that too. So, because I need to worry about my family more than anything else. But I'm glad Mark's doing better. He's doing well. You know, he's not dead, especially after the whole thing with him in the hospital again, and then the whole thing with him in Korea, and you know, with his grandmother passed away, and also with his ear infection. I'm glad he's doing well. You know, even despite all that, you know, I'm glad he's doing better. He's doing well, and he's excited. He's happy. He's back to do more videos, and I guess he still had videos in the pipeline that wasn't done in time or whatever, so we might be seeing some older videos at some point. But he wants to try to get back into it, but I guess he wants to take it a little slow based on the way he said it. So hopefully he takes his time. You know, he's been playing, I guess, mostly Amnesia the Bunker and stuff, so he's been playing that lately. So that was his last upload, by the way. That it was part 3 of his, you know, Amnesia, you know, the Bunker playthrough. So yeah, so that's really it. Another thing too, I've noticed Jacksepticeye has been very, you know, inactive on his channel, and I found out through a video on Twitter taken from his, you know, new podcast with Ethan, the Brain Leak podcast. He's taking time off to focus more on the stuff with the Iris project, the Iris, you know, ego stuff, because he's got a lot in the works, like, you know, I guess more live action stuff, comic book related stuff, podcast, like you know, a podcast based around it, etc. You know. So yeah, unfortunately Sean has been very, you know, inactive for a while, and you know, that's fair enough. He needs to focus. If he wants to focus on a big project like, you know, the Iris project, like his ego content, go for it, man. Like, don't worry about us. We'll be waiting patiently for your upcoming, you know, big, you know, project, whatever that it might be. I feel like he might be growing out his hair for a reason, and I was kind of like wondering, like, why the hell is he growing out his hair? Like, this is so unnatural to him. Like, this is something I didn't think he would do, because we never seen him with this long hair before. We've only seen him with the man bun, and that's really it. But hair this long, I'm like, there's got to be a reason behind it, unless if he's like, I just want to grow my hair. He might be probably growing it out for Marvin the Magnificent. Maybe. I don't know. That's just me thinking and assuming things, but hey, you never know, because the reason why I feel like it might be for Marvin is because a lot of his fans have done fan art with Marvin with like slightly longer hair and shit like that. So it might be because of that. It might be because for that. It might be for that. I have no idea. But yeah, Sean has been really inactive, and it's mostly because he wants to focus on his Iris stuff, and that's totally fine. Ethan posted a video yesterday at the time of me recording this, and I'm just like shaking my head. At first it was called I Made My Own Milk, and now recently he changed it to I Made This Milk So You Don't Have To. Ugh, God almighty, and the thumbnail does not help matters. I wonder where that came from. I wonder where that came from. I don't know, but anyways, enough rambling. I've rambled on long enough. I'm pretty sure everybody clicked off the video at this point. But hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. I'm glad that Mark's doing well, and he's gonna get back into trying to make videos again. before like he has to do more stuff related to Iron Lung or whatever the heck, or and stuff like that. So hopefully he we could see more, and hopefully at some point we get the next trailer for Iron Lung. He did say that in the last update video when he was talking about his little run-in the hospital. But hopefully we'll see it soon. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the Notification Squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram because my code's a Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and myself. Iris from Actors of Cosplay is on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!